So Spider-Man Brand New Day has released, so I knew I had to make a video on my thoughts because this is literally one of the biggest movie releases of all time, one of the biggest superhero movies of all time. So I had to make a video, what I think about it, everything. So let's get into it.
It's gonna be my celebrity phone call. Tom Holland, man, what the fuck? Man, I don't wanna talk your bitch.
So first off, starting with the positives, and there's a lot of them, Destin Daniel Cretton's direction of this movie was fantastic. This movie has some of the best action and fight scenes in all of Marvel and superhero movies in general. Definitely up there with the best Spider-Man action scenes of all time in this movie. Aesthetically, this movie is literally perfect in my eyes. Beautiful, colourful scenes, while also keeping the vibe of New York, which is a bit darker and grittier. But then it has nighttime shots, it has daytime shots, sunsets, sunrises, just a bunch of different type of shots that are all across the spectrum, and it feels like the most true to comics, true to source, true to Spider-Man movie that we've had so far. Literally straight up there with the original Raimi trilogy movies. The performances from all the actors was awesome. Tom Holland delivers his best performance of all time by far in this movie. We get to see a mature Spider-Man who's telling people what to do. This time he's giving orders, he's not just being told what to do, and he's facing all the problems himself, taking care of the shit himself. I love seeing it, because I will admit I was tired of that whole first movie Iron Man tells you what to do, then second movie Mysterio is your mentor. Like, we're finally at that point where he's an older actual adult man and he controls his own life and he has his own ideas. Sadie Sink's role as Jean Grey is also awesome in this. She does a great job. There are more problems I have with Jean Grey and all that shit later, but I will talk about that in the negatives. MJ, Ned, they all have perfect roles. Also, John Bernthal kills it as Punisher. His banter with him and Tom Holland is awesome in this movie. And just in general, the vibes of this movie, seeing a sad, depressed, lonely Spider-Man, it's fucked up, but like, it just makes you so happy for some reason, because that's what Spider-Man is. That's what I'm talking about! Peter Parker being neglected, his life is struggling, he needs to balance it, but he's not, and he's just diving all the way into Spider-Man, but he still has to smile, he still has to save everyone. That just is Spider-Man. That's why I love what Destin did with this movie in terms of the direction and the way he approached Spider-Man, as well as it feeling so much like a comic book of him just meeting up and seeing all these different characters. He just goes and sees Yelena, and then obviously just interacting with Frank. There's no introduction of any of these characters, just there living in the world. And then the same thing with him just seeing Bruce Banner there at the university to come talk to him, and all these characters are just there in the world. They're not introduced, there's no context, they're there. It's a lived in world, it's real New York, it's a lived in MCU that we're 18 years in. So seeing all this in the cinema combined with all those awesome swinging scenes, him living in his apartment, him being alone, but then him slowly incorporating his loved ones back into his life again, seeing that he has to have people, like those conversations with Punisher saying he wished he had his life, he would never have the mask on, and then him not being able to just get MJ back. It's very slow, it's very difficult, but then he is able to talk to them again, talk to Ned again, and it makes him feel better. All that, as I was watching it unfold, I was like, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. It's perfect, I have no issues with it. But then we go on to the negatives, which makes me knock this movie down 8 out of 10 for this movie, because of what I'm about to go on to now, which is the villain situation. Just not a big fan with having Jean Grey in the spot she was in. It felt so much more like, let's just set up X-Men, we're setting up the future, and it sacrificed Tom Holland's Spider-Man in his first really comic accurate movie, finally being able to have a cool villain that he can face that's from his rogues gallery. You had this sick montage where we saw in the trailers where you see Tarantula and you see Boomerang and all these cool guys, and they're just wasted. You have Tombstone, and most of them are just in a couple minutes of a montage, just wasted, while we spend more time just setting up the X-Men and Jean Grey, taking more time away from Peter Parker and his villains. First things first, I love Sadie Sink's portrayal of Jean Grey, but there's a lot of issues with her. First of all, they made her way too fucking evil. I mean, she did some heinous shit. She was so cruel and evil, just causing destruction with the tank at the beginning, running that dude into traffic, controlling him, straight up essaying Peter Parker, like, come on. And then obviously because she's Jean Grey, she's such a massive character, we have to get this whole sympathetic sob story for her, where if we had just a proper villain, we just have an evil ass villain like Lex Luthor in Superman. I feel like this movie would have really benefited from that, instead of having to waste time and do that sympathetic villain bullshit again, and talking him down and not having a proper climax like Thunderbolts all over again. Because we see Jean Grey, she's committing all these atrocities, then we get this flashback, we realize everything that's happened, and then Peter talks her down, and then that's it in the grand scheme of things. Just going over the external things of the narrative without going into too much detail, that's basically what it is in a nutshell. And I feel like Jean Grey could have been, I mean, I don't know if you introduce her here or not, but you could have just had a more of a side character, more of a heroic role, or more of like an anti-hero role. Because I know people are going to argue, oh no, she wasn't really the villain, the government agency were, Damage Control was really the villain. But come on, Damage Control were villains, but but what she did was insanity. She was straight evil, bro. That's not anti-hero, that's not grey. And then she just gets talked down, doesn't go to jail, and she just gets off scot-free. That knocked down the movie a lot for me. A Mr. Negative in this movie would have been perfect. You have Peter's emotions, you have him struggling so much in life, then you have Mr. Negative feeding off that energy. You can use him to bring back Savage Hulk as well. He literally would have been perfect. You could have Mr. Negative teaming up with all the other villains, same as in this movie, like how Jean Grey controlled some of the villains to attack Spider-Man. You could just have Mr. Negative teaming up with them or using them to get to Spider-Man, make his life hell. And then guys like Tombstone, Tarantula and stuff have bigger roles because Mr. Negative is interacting with them, getting them to deal with Spider-Man, basically make his life hell. But then the Jean Grey arc, because she's such a big character, just took so much time off Spider-Man, I felt. And then we knew straight away it's gonna be one of those bullshit climaxes where, oh, let's talk her down, and then she just gets away scot-free. Like, she just does a madness in this movie and just gets away with it. So that had to knock my rating down. And it really makes me consider Destin Daniel Cretton. We have to talk about this. He's a fantastic director, but his third acts, bro, is that an issue that's consistent with him that will continue going forward? Because same with the Shang-Chi third act, that was like the opposite of this. That was just all the way on the other extreme of just a full CGI dragon battle out of nowhere. And then here he went too opposite on the other side, where it's just talk down the villain and then it's over. And then yes, that's another negative I had with the movie. The ending was just so abrupt. This movie deserved an extra 10 or 20 minutes. Like, Peter talks her down, she's calm now, she's just happy now after terrorizing all over New York for the whole movie. Then Punisher shoots him, he's in hospital, he wakes up. Amazing scene, by the way, that hospital scene. But then that's the end of the movie. Like, it really felt abrupt. So overall, those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's a fantastic Spider-Man movie. It's an 8 out of 10, easy 10 out of 10 if the villain situation was better. Like, it's an easy home run. I feel like they just wrote themselves into a corner with having Jean Grey there. It's a great way to introduce her, but it's like, why is she so evil? Tell me, comic fans, X-Men fans, because I don't really read any X-Men comics. Is she like that in the comics? Because she was a bitch in this movie, let's admit it. But everything else was just so well done in this movie. The acting, the love, the heart, the emotion, the fight scenes, the Spider-Man imagery showing him being loved by New York. He's a mature Spider-Man, but he's alone, etc, etc. That was just so well done. And it definitely puts it really high up in the list of Spider-Man movies for me. Like, really, really high up. Just a better villain and it's #1 undisputed. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what your opinions are on Brand New Day. Let me know if I should watch anything else to review it. I love you all. Have a great day.
With a two-step, yeah, she know I'm gon' get it there. The way she move her body, yeah, she know just what she doing here. She don't mess with anybody, nah, not a single person here. Whoa, got a bill, baby, why'd you bring your person here?